The next guy I want to talk about is one that many fans are big fans of his character, and that's Abdullah the Butcher. We just talked about him. Mick Foley and Conrad recently covered Abdullah and Mick's relationship, focusing specifically on this run. Mick said that he felt that Abdullah made money everywhere he went and was one of the last old-school wrestlers that really terrified fans. Of course, this is near the end of Abdullah's career, having spent at this point over 40 years in wrestling, Arn. How would you characterize Abdullah's run in the business?
Well, I respect the fact that, Abby beat his body up. He bled to death every time he went to the ring. There was no, Abdullah was bleeding on this date and time. It was every time you saw him, he was bleeding to death. So the sacrifices that I know that he made from a performer standpoint, and he worked hard. He would make a guy have to really fight him to get him to go down. He knew how to protect his gimmick, so I respected that. And he really was. He was like one of the real-life monsters that you knew he's a human being, but not really.
Yeah, you sometimes question
it. You weren't 100% sure, right?
Right.
So you got to appreciate that.
Yeah, along these lines, our resident Edward Jones financial advisor, Lenny Bakken, says, what was your relationship like with Abdullah the Butcher, Arn? Any good stories, and did Abdullah ever drop kayfabe with you?
No, but the funniest thing I ever saw, it was, and it's just one of those things I look back after I became, a little more seasoned. But when I first went to Charlotte, Paul Jones was there. He was managing Abdullah and I think Superstar Billy Graham and Barbarian, a couple, three guys. And in those days, you hooked up rides with guys going back and forth to the town, and you paid trans and, 5 cents, 4 or 5 cents a mile, whatever it was back in the day. So Paul Jones always wanted to drive. He had a nice Cadillac. He had been there. He was settled in, and he had Abdullah riding, and I think it was me, and I think it was Superstar Billy Graham. So me being the new guy, the kid, I was anxious to not wear my car out. So I said, Paul said, you want to ride with us? I said, sure. So we go to the town. Everything's normal. Not a lot of talking in the car. Mostly you're just kind of winding down. After working out, you jump in the car and head to the town. So not a lot of talk. Go to the show. I think it was Fayetteville. And when we come back, we're heading out of town. There's the beer stop and the store stop that the guys always stopped at. So Paul's driving his Cadillac. Abdullah's sitting in the passenger seat, and I think me and Billy were in the back. We pull up to the convenience store. Paul's pumping the gas. He fills up his tank and he starts around. He's going inside, and Abdullah goes, "Hey, champ. Hey, champ. He called everybody champ. How about getting me a couple of chili dogs while you're in there?" And he's dead serious. Paul Jones went off. It's like almost they were working for us. He said, "What'd you say?" He said, "Yeah, pick me up a couple of chili dogs right in there." "You fat son of a bitch, get out and get your own chili dogs, you stupid motherfucker. Don't ever speak to me that." And I saw this monster rise up out of Paul Jones, and I went, holy shit. And I guess as you go back and think about it, it was just that disrespect for Paul, who had been there already for God knows how long, well respected. The guy just kind of, acts like he's really his manager or something.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things, holy shit, did the mood change. And it shocked me a little bit. It kind of scared me a little bit because I hadn't seen that side of either one of those guys. And it's just one of those funny stories that that's just Abby, being Abby.
And you never know. Paul could have been having a bad day and just hit him different that day when he asked for it, and he just lost it.
It could have been non-intentional the way it was perceived on both parts. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that, later, a couple of years later. I don't know why it popped into my head. I just busted out laughing.
Man, chili dogs sound so good, by the way. But yeah, what a story.